Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Last Man Standing. I'm Dan Hollifield, and you're not. Count yourselves lucky. Now, I don't know how stupid a clock turned into green room light, but I get the feeling that there was a lot of turkey coma involved, and people were not in their right minds. Well, I don't believe I've known what my right mind was supposed to be since the early 70s when I was a teenager, so very young teenager at that. But with me tonight, I have Aunt Donna right now. I expect Richie to show up sometime soon. Joe Dog is in the background and may not have remembered to exit. I don't know. He was here to make sure that I got back from the bar in time to start the story. God, my hair is awful tonight. I used entirely too much conditioner on it. I can't get it to fluff up, and it keeps kind of trying to flop over in layers like Doc Savage's skull cap. And Joe Dog has finally exited the building. Let's see, what is the comments here? Oh, Lost Souls trilogy.
Hi, Lost Souls. You've been in before.
Okay, didn't recognize, but glad to have you with us. Now I am without my iPad tonight. It is in the shop to have the battery replaced because it is about 6 years old. So it's kind of iffy. Excuse me. Damn, 2 sips of Irish whiskey and I'm already going. Good thing I speak Jack Daniels.
I thought it was just that southern accent.
No,
Yes.
we'll go there tomorrow.
We certainly will.
Yes, I will try and behave tonight.
Right.
Emphasis on try. Basically, because this is recorded, and God forbid, my mother may actually discover my YouTube channel one day, and I don't want to hurry her into the grave, but I would certainly have to stand still and take a spanking, and an 85-year-old woman that knows exactly how to administer a spanking to a wayward child, and not in one of the fun ways. Hello, Rich.
I came in at the right time.
The fun ways are down the hall and to the right. Just follow the red light. I don't know how we got so rowdy on Stupid O'Clock tonight, but we did. And that was fun, but I prefer to save that kind of witticisms for the green room and occasionally here. Damn, I look like Granny Clampett. East Tennessee blood will out. Of course, I got a better beard than she did, so I'm going to keep blaming the excess of hair conditioner because I really hate the way my hair looks right now.
You look fine.
Well, I know I do. I always look fine.
No, you do, yes.
Just not up to my own set of standards tonight. Got some Thanksgiving wishes from R. Sterling Esquire of the Wacky World Lounge earlier today. One of these days we're going to have to invite him on the show. Very interesting guy. Can't invite him to the green room because he does his own show on Friday nights. He'll probably be busy editing and stuff like that in order for the upload. Oh.
What you got, Rich?
Homemade stuffing.
And you
and
made
Millie's
it.
Hawaiian rolls. Yes. Off my mama's recipe.
That is always a good bit of information to have. There are several of
I
my
print
mama's
out every
recipes I
year.
wish she had written down.
Yeah, I print it out every year because I can't find it. But it's more of a, yeah, I'm right, good, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to adding the spices, you just wait until your ancestors say, "That's enough, child. You got it right."
No, Mom actually has so much spice to add into it.
Oh,
which
really?
Is 4 tablespoons of poultry seasoning, basically per loaf of bread.
Per loaf?
Per loaf.
She cooking for an army there? She got to use multiple loaves? Okay. Yeah. Here I am speaking to the one-man Army Corps.
Me, my sisters, my parents. Back then, her mom and stepdad, my Uncle Ron, whoever he was married to at the time, often my cousins Pete and Don and their families. If my Aunt Gloria was up, that's another 15 people. Aunt Gloria should have been Catholic. But yeah, I mean, for Thanksgiving dinner, there was easily 20 people in the house. And then when my uncles and aunts and cousins stopped coming over, my sisters had kids and families and stuff like that. So we really didn't see the downsize.
Yeah. When we were at the
We used to
restaurant
cut up
today,
4 loads of bread.
when we were at the restaurant today, there were 10 of us. So it was 5 generations of just the family that lives right here. Now, if we had gone up to East Tennessee, it would it had the possibility to be somewhere in the range of 7 to 10 generations, and we would had to have rent the park again, um, because University of Tennessee doesn't really want to rent out their football stadium to us anymore. There was that incident where uh, someone built a still and the revenuers got called, and I had to drive really quick. Um, Now I can remember family reunions, Thanksgiving, Christmas, where there were stuff for um, about 5 generations of one family, and then have to go across the street to another generations to get a full plate there, and then go down the street to their sister who had her own entire family there, and it's like, and that's just the ones in that neighborhood. So easily, Thanksgiving dinners could involve 50 or more people, and then you had to drive to the next town to get to the other side of the family, which was huge. Um,
Well, my
and
mom made dressing instead of stuffing, and she had to use 2 loaves of bread because she had to make 2 pans, one with oysters in it and one without.
mm,
In addition to everything else she made, and there were only the 5 of us because my father and my 2 brothers would pretty much decimate the oyster pan by
hmm
them just by themselves, and not counting everything else they ate.
Yeah,
Sounds like
I
something I would be part of. Yes.
I did 2 loaves because Misty and I love this dressing to death. And there's a good chance that a quarter of the pan might be gone before the turkey even finishes. Um, so I made
Precautionary extra fan.
2 loaves. In fact, the bread has been drying on the shelf that's over here since last Sunday, so that it all got dried out and it was perfectly dried. Oh, I think this is the best batch I've made yet.
Tell me, Rich, does your mom's recipe involve uh, how shall I put this delicately? Chopped liver?
No.
My mom's does, and it's also cornbread based rather than loaf bread based, and that, to my chagrin, to my shame, mom had never been able to convince me that liver was something that was edible by human beings until she put it in her stuffing slash dressing,
Hmm.
and then I just absolutely loved it. So it just depended on how stuff was cooked. But I remember,
Mom stuffing is just onion, celery, garlic, poultry seasoning, butter, chicken broth, egg, and the bread.
very similar, very similar.
Yeah, yeah.
Mom had a few extra things in there, but I remember there were times when she would cook an entire dinner which involved liver, and I would tote a whipping rather than eat it. I tried, didn't taste good to me,
No.
which is the wrong thing to say to a Southern belle. Um, and I, I would not, and Lindsay absolutely loves liver, so I'm going. You want liver and onions? You have liver and onions. That's fine, honey. Just don't expect me to eat any. and Mom comes up with the dressing, which has teeny tiny chunks of liver in it, and I could not get enough. I guess
Well,
I
because
there's all the other flavors in there.
it was mixed with everything else that was complementary to that particular flavor of that particular. Uh, would you call that a cut of meat? I would, yeah. Um,
technically. Um, Last year when I was still at Dad's house for a little bit, one of the times we ordered out, for some reason he got a wild hair and wanted liver and onions. So I tried a little bit of his liver and onions, and I actually didn't mind it. Growing up, I hated liver. It might just be that my mom could not cook liver to save her life, because every time she made liver, the the second that meat touched my mouth, all the moisture in my mouth got sucked out,
mm,
and it was like I don't know how to describe it other than, you know, big gulp of water. So my mouth was plenty moist, and then yeah, put that in, and suddenly it just feels like dry and weird.
mm.
Yeah,
With me, it was the actual taste,
Carl
not
likes
not
liver and
the.
onions, and I'm like, Gilbert Street Cafe does a really nice liver and onion, so I hear if you want some, that's the only way you're getting it. I'm not cooking it. But
Yep.
every Thanksgiving and Christmas, she had to have regular dressing and oyster dressing, and she had to buy an extra can of raw oysters because Dad and the boys loved raw oysters.
So did my dad. I could not see the attraction. I mean, I love
Uh,
oyster stew. I love the deep fried oysters, but raw oysters. It's not that I ever got a chance to find out whether or not it tasted good. It's just the concept was not something I was willing to accept.
well, I was about 3 when my oldest brother convinced me to have a raw oyster. He told me that it just slides right down very easily. So he fed me one.
You're not expecting
It,
it. It slides right back up very easily too, along with everything else that's in your
did.
stomach.
Yes, it did.
I expected that punchline.
He thought that was hilariously funny. My mom didn't.
Well,
But
that's why you lean close to his lap when you regurgitate. That'll
I think
teach
it
him.
was in the middle of the kitchen. But yeah, and then the year my mom broke her elbow right before Christmas, my sister-in-law had to take over, and the boys were not happy because there was no oyster dressing. And my sister-in-law can cook. She's really good. So both sisters-in-law learned after that that yes, at Christmas you do have both regular dressing and oyster dressing.
Hmm. Oh, I don't think Mom ever tried the oyster dressing recipe. Would have been out of her wheelhouse because, you know,
Hmm.
uh, Kentucky coal miner's daughter. Um, don't find many oysters that you can get at the company store in a Kentucky coal mining camp. So
Well, I don't know how it got started here because you don't find a lot of oysters on the Midwestern farm either.
this is true.
But frankly, I liked my Aunt Clara's dressing better because regular dressing is baked, right?
Yeah,
And it can be kind of dry.
yeah, that's what the gravy's for.
Yeah, Aunt Clara just fixed it on top of the stove. Never baked it. And it was good that way.
Yeah, I mean that's what keeps stovetop in business. Theirs is very good. I mean it's not traditional family, but for a dressing, Um, that is,
It's a great quick substitute.
it is a good substitute for a family recipe, which you may not be privy to because um, you were not supposed to be in the kitchen while your relatives were actually whipping up the feast. Um,
That's the one thing I couldn't get out of. I had to help.
well, that's one of those. I hate to say it, but yeah, one of those gender roles
Hmm.
that sometimes it is inescapable. Um, my mother is still surprised at the fact that I like to cook as much as I do, and to tell the truth, I have not ever cooked for my mother, but I would like to flatter myself that the few things that I am able to do, she would enjoy. Now, Lindsay is the next best thing to a gourmet cook. She will do anything, and it will taste absolutely awesome, and there will be no leftovers because I'm a pig. Um, but hey, I didn't reach this weight until after I married her. Um, the
Well,
woman the woman can cook.
the one good thing about helping beforehand, especially after the sisters-in-law came along, and one sister-in-law resented it, but I don't care because I never liked her anyway. Uh, I didn't have to help clean up since I helped make it.
Hmm.
So at least I got out of kitchen duty then.
Now, I've got a favorite story about the day we got married. Um, we went down to the courthouse for uh, the ceremony and everything because uh, plans for an elaborate wedding fell through. So my parents are there because Lindsay's dad was over in England. My dad volunteered to give her away. The circuit court judge came in straight from the cattle pasture wearing cowboy boots and a plaid shirt and just farmer clothes and married us off. And we went straight from the courthouse to get into mom and dad's Toyota van, where we had to go 5 hours drive north to get to family reunion. And it just happened to be the celebration of mom's mother's, I think, 98th birthday for the family reunion. So Lindsay and I had not been married more than 6, maybe 7 hours. We got there. My Aunt Mary took Lindsay in hand and led her into my grandmother's kitchen and gave her a head of cabbage and a huge knife and said, "You make the coleslaw for the family reunion dinner." Now, there are women that have married into the family that were never allowed in Granny's kitchen or were only allowed after a long probationary period. My wife, after coming in and going, "Hello, hello, I'm Lindsay, I'm glad to meet you, I'm Dan's wife," and straight in the kitchen, they go, "Okay, you're part of the family. You're accepted right now." Um, I told her what an honor it was to be invited in. We went through the entire thing, and there might have been 30, 45 people there. I mean, we had to eat in shifts. The table was too small. Um, and the living room was full, and all my uncles and my dad were sitting there watching a football game in the living room, and I kind of tried to hang out in the kitchen because I kind of had honorary status there because Granny used to invite me in there and tell me to go in the drawer where her special treats were stored, and I got a moon pie and a RC cola every time we came to visit out of her stash. I didn't know that until later. I didn't realize it was hers. I thought she was keeping that there for the grandchildren, but no, that was hers. So I was eating her moon pies, and she forgave me. Um, but after
Well, she didn't just
after the
forgive you;
bigger,
she gave you permission if she told you to go in there and get
Yeah.
them.
I mean, yeah. Um, After the meal, everything, everybody started bringing plates in, putting them in the sink. Lindsay walks up to the sink and starts washing dishes without anybody asking her, without anything. And it was either Aunt Mary or Aunt Jerry, one of my mom's sisters, said, "Honey, you help cook. You don't wash dishes. No. The younger girls are going to do that. The outlaws. They're going to do that. Not the in-laws, but the outlaws. They're going to wash dishes. That's their job. They got to do something here." And
Yeah, one
I'm
of
going,
first family
oh,
dinners, Misty tried that, and my mom's like, "No, that's what the grandkids are for. You relax."
yeah, exactly. So Lindsay wound up in the living room with my mom's grandmother, and the menfolk had been removed from the vicinity. And Granny's sitting there dipping snuff and drinking tea and finishing off the last of her pumpkin pie at the same time. Don't ask me how that is accomplished. I do not know. And she and Lindsay had a little heart to heart talk, and I was excluded from this, but I was told about it later. And it turns out that not only did Lindsay make an enormously favorable impression with all the ladies in the family, she also made an enormous impression on my grandmother. And hello, Joe Bachman.
Howdy.
Hey, Joe.
So that's a precious memory right there. I mean, that was the day we got married, and uh, mom and dad paid for us to have a hotel room for our honeymoon weekend, and we got to. It wasn't a picturesque view. They put us on the back of the hotel facing the mountainside. We could see llamas because the hotel had llamas, but we couldn't see the lake or anything out front. And Lindsay got introduced to biscuits and gravy the next morning at the hotel breakfast. And the hotel cooks were also grandmothers. And it was really good. Biscuits and gravy, scrambled eggs, toast, just all fried apples, just everything you would want out of a family get together breakfast. But this was provided by the hotel. I kind of think that that's one of the reasons she puts up with me because she could hold these brand new experiences and they were all favorable. I mean, sure, she had to put up with me for a while before she got there, but uh, it's like the family reunion is like if you could imagine a a huge family feast for Christmas and Thanksgiving combined and feeding 50 people in East Tennessee. So ain't no telling what's going to be there. Somebody could have went out and got some fresh venison or whatever. It's happened before. All kinds of things. I'm wondering and babbling, and I should stop and let everybody else talk. Duh. Um, if anybody wants to know the details, wait till I actually publish Midnight on the Tractor of Introspection, my biography. And if that day ever comes, you'll get even more of an insight into my character than you've ever wanted.
Yeah, my one sister-in-law almost had a revolution on her hands because my brother was a hunter
Yeah.
and always, got deer, and so she made a deer roast for Christmas. But she was smart enough to announce it ahead of time, and was told that if she wanted my niece and nephew from my other brother to eat anything, she better have a turkey there. So she had both.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I remember Sunday dinners that had fried chicken, pheasant, quail, rabbit and dumplings, venison, ham, and that's just the meat courses. There was a bunch of other stuff as well. And this was just a normal Sunday dinner. And the wild game was alive the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And the chicken was too.
Oh yeah.
That's an eye opener right there to see a live chicken harvested and plucked and processed right before your eyes. When you are already familiar with the concept of grocery stores. So now you have absolutely no doubts as to where and what your main course went through before it wound up wrapped in plastic and sitting on a refrigerated shelf.
Better than 10 years ago, my mother-in-law and father-in-law were actually raising chickens. So we used to get free eggs all the time. But my mother-in-law would get pissed off at me and one of my brother-in-laws, the brother-in-law whose fault it is that I married Misty at that. But because we're good friends, or he's one of my best friends to this day still. But we are very alike in our sense of humor. So we're looking at the chicks after the chicks have hatched, and we're like, okay, so that one's Parmesan, that one's fricassee, that one's fried. She was not amused, especially with as many chicken dishes as we were able to come up with.
Yeah, that's the main reason why Lindsay wants to raise chickens so badly for the eggs. And I'm going, no, honey, no, no. You will give them names. They will be pets.
But they'll still give eggs.
And sooner or later, I'm going to be expected to go out, wring one's neck, pluck it, bring it in, debone it, and cook it. Or no, I'm not good at. No,
you can't
I
give
can't.
eggs if you do that.
Well, you start with the roosters if you got too many.
Misty's ex-asshole.
You only need the one.
Decided to buy our middle child, which is his biologically, a rabbit one year. Not to keep at his place, to keep at my place. Didn't bother asking me first, just sent her home with the frickin' rabbit. So As my daughter was trying to name the rabbit, I'm like, how about Hassenpfeffer?
Oh God.
And she just kept looking at me weird. And finally, she's like, what's Hassenpfeffer? Well, Hasen is rabbit in German, and Pfeffer is pepper. Hassenpfeffer is a peppered rabbit dish. How could you? That's good eating.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if one Easter morning it's on the stove.
It really. Rabbits
And the
don't
thing is,
lay rabbits don't lay Easter eggs.
it wasn't a tiny rabbit either. It was a huge sucker. More like a hare than a rabbit.
Well, I used to go and help my cousin check his rabbit traps, and I mean, rabbit trap. He would build them himself, find a rabbit warren, and shove the open end of the box into the rabbit warren, and sometimes he'd scatter them around along the game trails. And if a possum or a raccoon ever got into it, he'd just burn the box because no rabbit would ever go in there again once
Mm-hmm.
they found that scent. But he would do all the butchering and whatnot, and I stood there and I watched and I go, I know they taste good, but suddenly I don't want to eat them anymore. And I think Dad finally came to the same thing about hunting deer. It's just one day he said, I've got the bead on this beautiful doe, 140 pounds, would have fed the family for weeks and weeks, if not months. And she looks at me, and I'm just looking down the sights, and I go, I can't pull the trigger. I think I'm through hunting. I'll stick to fishing from now on. And that was Dad. I mean, seriously, raised to hunt, raised to fish. One day, look the deer straight in the eyes and go, I can't do this no more.
That's why you're not supposed to look them in the eyes.
Yeah. Not that I will turn down an offer of someone else's venison.
Mm-hmm.
They can harvest all they want. If they want to give me a little bit, I will eat every bite of it and be thankful to Saint Bambi for this meal that we're about to consume. But no, and I've never been that much of a hunter. Um, I got taken out hunting a lot, but I'm just too soft-hearted.
One of my nieces was eating a hamburger and she's like, Grandma, this is the best burger ever. What is it? I didn't realize which niece it was that said it, so I said Bambi burger. My niece was like 7, 8 at the time. I ate Bambi. No, I'm probably more like her mother. Grandpa killed Bambi's mother? Probably.
If it wasn't Grandma that did it,
I got my ass whooped.
I bet you did.
you stood there and took it like a man because you knew you had earned it. Oh, now Mom has given me given me permission to hunt deer on the family farm because they will come up and they will tear down the fruit trees trying to get to
Mm-hmm.
the apples and pears and whatever. And I'm going, well, I won't need a deer stand. All I got to do is stand still on the carport and wait till they come up to the tree and boom. But I've never done it. And Mama wishes I had because they tore down all the damn fruit trees. Uh, Everything except the fig tree because it doesn't bloom at the right time. But the apples, the pears, the peaches, deer will decimate that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Pop used to take me squirrel hunting. And as I think back now, we didn't have a lot of squirrels in the yard back then. Uh,
2 + 2 = 4?
yeah, we had to go out in the pasture to find squirrels to shoot at. And
Went
now I'm
squirrel
living
hunting. Oh, sorry.
in town, and I've got more squirrels in my yard than I ever saw out in the woods.
Because ain't nobody hunting in your yard.
Have I
Now,
told you?
Richie?
We have black squirrels now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My brother-in-law's wife has this strange idea of how the black squirrels came around. A regular squirrel mated with black cat.
That's not how genetics works. That's not how any of this works.
This isn't the island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, really.
What can I say? She probably should have been on a short bus.
This is not the green room. Otherwise, I would say something totally inappropriate involving the genealogy of politicians.
When Carl said that, he looked at me and said, "Well, she is a blonde."
My pops took me squirrel hunting once. Almost killed me. Not because of any type of firearm mishap or anything like that. My father didn't understand diabetes.
Hmm.
We left at early in the morning to drive about 4 hours down south, down by Willis Loop. And we're down that way. We're actually a little bit further south than that, but we're traipsing around the woods all day. No food the entire time. By the time we were on our drive back, I was so hypoglycemic it wasn't even funny. I probably should have gone to the hospital.
Yep. Yep, that happens. No food, no water. Fishing trips are better in my family. You got food. You got sodas. You get out there on the
Dad
boat in
would
the middle of the lake.
A basket for fishing.
Yeah.
It had some sandwiches and some soda and some beer and stuff like that. But yeah, not hunting.
No. For some reason, sandwiches seem to make noise. Or at least
Well, you
give
got to
off an
travel
aroma.
lighter so that you can actually carry. Oh, that probably it. Is the food. Although I would expect if you packed a lunch that would attract squirrels, you might be better off and see more squirrels.
I was going to say, we always took food with us.
Because I've never met a squirrel that isn't a hungry little bastard.
Yeah, my first popcorn
I've met some
crop.
squirrels that could probably out-eat me. Yes, those words are in the proper order.
Sorry, I went off on a
I'm
tangent.
not gonna argue with you.
This is being recorded. I'm not going off into that tangent.
Yeah, this is why once we get those
This
last
is definitely
3
green
stacks
room
in,
material here.
we're not putting food out anymore because we're feeding the squirrels as much as we're feeding the cats.
Well, here it's raccoons and possums and squirrels and this is just the bird food.
There were raccoons that feared me at my old house because I would come outside and I would just start hissing at them and chasing them. Like, one of them's coming after us. What the hell? You're supposed to be frightened of us.
A possum maybe, but ain't no need to be frightened of a raccoon.
My two-handed practice sword. I used to carry that with me outside. And I used to slam it against the side of the trash bins when they were in the trash bins. They'd shoot up out of there like nothing. And then as they're in mid-air, I would just take a swing and like Babe Ruth and swat them dead in the ass.
Yeah, with the flat. Yeah.
Flat edge, didn't matter. It's a plastic weapon.
Oh, plastic. Okay. Plastic
It's my
weapon.
trainer. Yeah, it's my practice trainer.
Sorry, you said sword. I'm really having trouble grasping the concept of one that isn't steel. All of mine are. I can't practice with them except to go outside and chop trees down.
Yeah, I wouldn't take my life steal after him because there's too much damage or too much risk of permanent critical damage to the animal if I used live steel. So I would just use my nylon plastic trainers.
That's why I got the whip. It makes noise and stings. Donna, don't smile too broadly.
Yes.
We saw those eyebrows kick up.
All I have is a buggy whip.
Never been used on human beings. Never been used on human beings, unlike the handcuffs. But never mind the furthermore.
All I got's a buggy whip. I don't know whatever happened to my dad's bullwhip.
If it didn't get regular treatment with settle soap or whatnot, it probably is a little bit dehydrated by now.
Yeah, every bullwhip I owned was a $5 county fair special.
Ooh, there's a company that makes some really good ones, but you do have to take care of them like you would a saddle or a pair of boots or a holster or whatever that's good leather. I can't remember it, but I know I've got the link somewhere. Got one to go with steampunk costume, and I investigated the company, just doing research, trying to figure out whether or not they were turning out quality before I spent my money. They were very popular with the cowboy shooters and reenactors, so I figure good quality there, and mail ordered it, got it here, and I go, this is a dangerous weapon. Seriously. Took it outside and was cutting leaves in half off of trees and chopping branches off, just snapping the whip back and forth. Nice piece of kit. And Joe Bachman, have you anything to contribute to this conversation, or would you like to start another one?
Nothing to contribute so far.
Just taking notes, huh?
Yep.
Oh.
I've been concentrating on not having my left side cramp up again like it was right as I got in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find what ways I can sit without it trying to just send me into raging pain again.
Well, the turkey coma today did not help the pain in the right side of my neck, so I am taking medicinal action at the moment. Don't laugh. This is 10-year-old Irish. This is 10-year-old Bushmills. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to guzzle this. It ain't going in a mixed drink. They actually had 16-year-old Bushmills, which would have been their price for a quart was almost an entire day's pay.
I can believe it. No
Yeah.
turkey coma over here.
Mm.
Sweet and sour chicken, maybe. Crab rangoon. Oh my god.
Other thing I've been working on is trying to figure out why I can't access my own website from this computer all of a sudden.
That's not good.
Yeah. And it's only ndcd.org. I can still get to Nick's website. I can get to every other website that I have hosted under the same account, except for anything attached to that domain. And it's even to the point where Outlook won't download the email messages from that domain.
Well, it's more than you accidentally banned yourself. This is something serious.
And here's the kicker. I can access it from my phone, my iPad, my Mac, any other device that is on this network.
But not the one you're actually using.
Yeah.
That's spooky.
And it just happened like literally overnight. So I've been trying to diagnose that. I'm going to have to just hop on the Mac tomorrow so I can get all these updates done to that site, but it's driving me nuts not being able to access it from here.
Well, according to my publisher, the Spaceport Bar book will be reissued and back up on Amazon this weekend, before the end of the weekend.
Nice.
Nice, yes.
Well,
Finally.
now, emergencies have happened before, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt, but that will be incredible, yes, because I've already got like 3 people that want the ebook that didn't even know I was a writer 2 weeks ago. So I'm going, well, we'll see. I'll tell you when the reissue, the re-edit comes out. I spent part of last week trying to find the message that gave me permission to shop the original manuscript to another publisher, because Amazon might get picky about taking one publisher's work down and putting another publisher's work up, even if it has the same title. So I finally found that. I looked through about 7 years worth of emails in 5 or 6 different folders, and then I go, oh, wait a minute. I didn't only communicate with that publisher through email. Let me pull up my Messenger. Sure enough, that's where it was, in Messenger. So I had to do a screenshot and send that to my new publisher and go, well, I hope this is what you need, but it pretty much all of it is spelled out. Yeah, it's I am relieved of the contract from the first publisher now. So, and I am relieved I've got the second publisher now. I looked up stuff on my Amazon author page. There is some person trying to flog stuff that is still available on Lulu. Paperback and hardback.
Yeah.
And ebook for like 99 cents, $1.99, I forget which. But the paperbacks were reasonably priced, about $6, something like that. And the hardbacks, 15, 20, something like that, because of printing costs. There's somebody who's got stuff listed on Amazon the same title. They're trying to flog paperbacks for $60 of this one title, and they're not even one of the writers that's in the anthology. This is just somebody that had bought a bunch of copies, and now they're trying to drive the price up like it's unavailable any other way. That ain't true. You can go to Lulu and get it cheap. Uh, you don't have to pay some, well, I hesitate to say collector, it's some speculator's price because all the names involved. A lot of the folks that had written these flash fiction stories are now recognized authors selling their stuff under their own name, and this was back when they were just getting started. So historically, maybe, but $50 for a paperback? Are you kidding me?
Well, it's amazing how many different people you see reselling the same book on Amazon. Like, I'll use Tockert's The Simple Sword as an example.
Yeah.
There's actually 6 other options when you pull up his for paperback. And it's being sold through Superbook Deals or North Star Book Company, Anderson Family Library. It's like, A, who the hell are you people? B, why am I going to order it from you guys but I get free shipping through Prime and you all are charging shipping? And you're charging more.
Yeah.
And you're charging more than Nick's charging.
Yeah.
I've got all of his Sword X and Spear, all 3 of those from his Amazon site, but on ebook. I would like to get physical copies so I can get him to autograph them one day if we ever meet. But
But it just kills me that if he had submitted the book to them for sale,
yeah,
they probably would have never bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course not.
But they're going to buy, because you figure they had to have bought a copy off Amazon from him to be able to sell, I would think.
I had that happen with my first Sunner's Ridge. And go on there and this is a little book I sell for $10.
Mm-hmm.
And there's somebody had it for 30 or 40. And I'm like, this goes to show how much Amazon does not care.
Yeah.
Because you would think that my book from me through Lulu on Amazon for $10 and then look at this other place for this huge thing and go, that can't be right.
And the inflated price doesn't even include an autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Amazon's just worried about getting their share.
Yeah. If I was suspicious, I'd think half of these people didn't exist and Amazon was just inflating prices on fake accounts in order to increase the profit margin. But no, nobody would ever do that.
They get a big enough profit margin as it is.
Really. And besides, it happens often enough to where it wouldn't be a live person involved with it anyway. It's all bots doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, who was that? Hi, baby girl.
Unfortunately, Aphelion's
Wanna come up and say hi? No.
Aphelion's cover illo artist has decided to step down.
Oh.
Yeah. He had just recently discovered AI art and got really excited and going, "Oh, this is so cool. I can do so much and all I got to do is type in about 10 or 12 words and the machine creates all the
Oh, that's
artwork for
funny.
me." And my reply was, "I know too many writers, artists and publishers that are willing to ostracize me for coming out in favor of AI anything, that I can't let you do this. Otherwise, my magazine is going to be dead after almost 30 years."
Mm-hmm.
And cancel culture is a thing. In this
The only
case,
problem with AI art is ethical sourcing.
Hmm.
If it's not being
well,
ethically sourced,
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
my
if,
my
if you develop all the images to feed into it for it to feed off of, bonus. But the makers of and it's not really AI, it's II. It's imitative intelligence, not artificial intelligence. It's not actual sapience. It's going through a few heuristic checks and oh yes, let's do this. Um, sorry, pet peeve. But it's they they think it's the Wild West,
yeah,
And now for my purposes, the way AI art works now is perfectly fine. But I'm not using that art to put on a book cover or something like that. I'm putting in prompts to get an idea so I can save it to my hard drive so I can go, okay, when I think about this character, this is the image that comes up.
Hmm.
uh-huh. Well, I told him if we could just sidestep this till culture decides whether or not this is acceptable or not, we'd save ourselves a whole lot of hardship and heartache. But he said, "Look, I've been struggling to do this the old-fashioned way for the last couple of years. This excited me as if I had just discovered an entirely new way to work," which he had. And I'm sorry if you're not willing to accept this. I'll do one more cover the old-fashioned way for the December issue, and then I'm going to step down. And I hate the fact that we're going to lose his input for the artwork for the covers for that. I'm hoping he's still going to send us stories because he's a very good writer. But I can't, as a matter of policy, endorse this until public opinion makes up its mind as to whether or not yes or oh hell no. So, as long as it's bouncing back and forth between the two, I can't let the magazine have an opinion. I can't have it
Hmm.
have an official position. Um, from what I saw, the artwork was that he had done was decent. It was not as compelling as the astronomical photographs that we had been using, he had been using to make the covers before. It was very imaginative, but the tradition has been um, basically astronomical photographs with attribution to the institutions that provided the photographs, the space telescopes and the institutes that study them and that sort of thing. And to go to um, something that didn't supply the attributes to the original photographs
Mm-hmm.
that were modified didn't sit well with me. And I'm just going, this is too new. We can't jump on the bandwagon right now. Maybe once the public makes up its mind as to this is bad, this is good, we can make a coherent decision. Right now, I can't do that. I don't have all the information. So he's going to step down. And as with everything else, default on the magazine,
Aha.
I'm going to have to start doing cover art myself.
Oh,
No. No.
I don't want to be on camera, Daddy.
Mr. Barry Allen. Chill out.
Good kitty.
You got too close. You know the price.
Barry is a good boy. Barry
The
is
dues
a good
must be
boy.
paid.
Yeah.
And the cat cannot hear anything I'm saying because Rich is wearing headphones. Barry
Yeah.
is a good boy. Good kitty. Good kitty. Pretty boy.
He's like,
Pretty boy.
Daddy, I sure had him fooled, don't I?
Oh, and Christian is with us.
All right, buddy, you can bolt now. Oh, nope. You're
Oh,
comfortable.
there's a person I haven't seen in quite some time.
Hello, Christian. Yeah, heading to bed. Well, we are on late at night, and daytime is a thing. Apparently, I wouldn't know. Um, my alarm clock goes off when it's still dark. I get to work when it's still dark, and I don't leave until this time of year. It's almost dark.
Yeah, my
But
commute's
only-
25 feet.
Only for about 25 more work days. It's going to be weird being retired. It's going to be really weird being retired.
You get used to it real fast.
Once the checks come in, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but not before. I'm still going to be paranoid that I just ruined my life because nobody's ever going to. I'm going to starve. Lindsay's going to starve.
You'll be
We
okay.
won't be homeless. Property taxes will eat the house, but no. I've already rolled over my pension into an IRA. I've already made arrangements as to how much we're going to get from that every month. Social Security has not died, so I'll get almost the same amount from them every month. And my 401k, when I stop getting my last paycheck, I can empty that. And that's right now about 4 years' pay, which would take a lot of pressure off as far as we don't have to worry about that $500 a week, where it was that I was getting in a normal paycheck. We can live off of this, that, and the other thing. I'm sure that I am worrying for no damn reason whatsoever, except for the fact that I don't trust corporate America for any reason whatsoever. So until I get the checks coming in, I'm going to be really scared. And I hope that's a natural response, really.
It is.
It is. I mean, even though I'm not retired or anything like that, with the payout from Dad's estate, I'm almost all of my debt is paid off. The only thing I have paid off that is still showing on my, the only thing I haven't paid off that is still showing on my credit report is my car. I paid off Misty's car Monday. So I'm just taking them bit by bit by bit. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, some of the stuff. And I'm like, oh, crap. We need this for groceries. We need this for groceries. We need this for groceries. And I'm like, wait, I don't have to plan 2 weeks out anymore. I can just get today and tomorrow's worth of groceries and we're good. There's plenty of money in the bank to be able to get everything we need until everyone, pays out and stuff like that. So it is a really weird experience where, for the past year, we've been really tight about, okay, we've got to buy 2 weeks worth of groceries here. We're going to go negative, but, hey, it'll be fine. A week later, our paycheck will be in, and it's weird being able to log in every day and still see our account positive.
That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So much stress is off of Misty and me. It is not even funny.
That is one thing I do miss about one of us working at the state, whether it be me or my wife. When I switched over to RQAW, our pay weeks were on separate weeks, so we had money coming in
Every week.
Every week.
With Misty and me, she gets paid every other Friday. I get paid the 1st and the 16th, unless it's on a weekend or a holiday. Then it's the Friday before, or the day before if it's the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So for a couple of months, our paycheck was on the same day or within a day or two. Now we're on different weeks again, which makes it nice because we're like, okay, everything's staggered. We don't have to jam everything into the refrigerator and the pantry and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, with us, it's instead of living from paycheck to paycheck, it's going to be, oh, okay, we get 98% of everything we have normally spent in a month on the first of the month. Then we have 4 years worth of expenses in the bank. Then we have savings accounts that earn interest every month. So I don't know why I am so damn worried. And on top of all of that is by LibertyCon, I'll be collecting Social Security as well, which is it's about the same as what the pension is going to pay out every month, which is give us about 1.5 times what we normally spend in my little budget spreadsheet that I have been averaging up for the last 5 years. So we should be sitting pretty. We really should. I don't trust the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I really do not trust the universe. Anytime that it is possible for me to be screwed over, I have been screwed over. And not by people I know, but by impartial powers that be.
Yeah, that's the only way I trust the universe is to, bend me over, go in dry with a cactus, and
there's individuals in my life that get mad at me because when things start going too well, I'm like, all right, I'm going to step off the curb and get hit by a bus. I'm looking for the other shoe to drop. Why do you always have to be so negative? Because if I don't look for this, the world is going to hit me with it. You know,
Mhm.
if I go, oh, I'm going to step off the bus and step off the curb and get hit by a bus, Kate's going to be like, damn, he's expecting it. We can't do it now.
I have
Eyesight.
always said the world is in no danger of being hit by some massive meteor or some volcano blowing its top and destroying everything because I'm still in debt. And the universe would not be so kind as to relieve me of that debt, even if it killed me. It will wait until I no longer owe anybody anything. And then the fucking world will end just when I was beginning to enjoy not being in debt.
Oh, you're comfortable. Bonjour.
Yeah, really. Large rocks fall from the sky. Oh, no. But I got paranoid over one of the previous elections and a particular candidate. And as soon as he announced his candidacy, I go, I'm tapping into the 401k. I'm paying off the mortgage. 100% gone. Because I don't want to be homeless just because a moron got elected. Sure enough, stock market decided to go, ooh, it's time to be a roller coaster. This week you got this much. This week you owe this much. No, nope, not playing that game. Cars paid for, houses paid for. Um, the biggest expense we're going to have to worry about after I retire is getting health insurance. Aside from that, the precautions I have taken over the last 30 years should have us sitting pretty. Now, if I can find insurance that costs me not much more than $100 a week that I have been paying through my paycheck, okay, we'll chill out a little. But I just don't know. It scares me. It relieves me. It's traumatic, and it's been something I've been waiting for all my life. Retirement is one of those things that until you've got all the bells and whistles accounted for, it's going to be nerve wracking. Got to fill out all the paperwork. Got to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and Uncle Sugar gets his share. Um, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I don't. I know I've got no reason to be nervous because I've got friends that have gone through the same thing, and they go, "Oh well, I've got more money than I've ever had before in my life," and I'm going, "Good for you."
Just be
I've
prepared
never
for,
understood that feeling.
just be prepared to have your Social Security taxed.
I counted on that. I've already got it in the calculations. I mean, I've been running spreadsheets for about 6 or 8 years now. Social Security taxed. Anything that I earn off savings accounts taxed. Um, anything I get from the IRA taxed. Anything I get from the 401k taxed. I'm Uncle Sugar gets paid no matter what.
Hmm.
Well, we expected it. We just didn't expect $3,000. That was a bit of a shock.
Hmm.
In what time period, though?
That was last year when after Carl started receiving his Social Security because he was now getting Social Security. My Social Security doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the tax bill went from a couple hundred to $3,000. Whoa.
Yeah. According to the research I did, because we're married, when Lindsay's old enough to collect Social Security, she gets 50% of the amount I get.
Mhm.
She doesn't believe it. That's like pie in the sky. It's too good to be true.
I thought I convinced her at
And you
Hallowcon.
did you did a damn good job. It's just you got to remember Lindsay's life has been one series of somebody taking advantage of her after another. Except for me and her first husband, she's not had the comfort
That's,
of being secure.
She's had to walk 10 miles of bad road.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
I do everything I can to convince her, but until we actually get the
when it starts
paperwork,
happening,
yeah, until the evidence comes in, she's going to be reticent to admit that it's possible. And no, Donna, you did do a great job of convincing her. She's like this close to being comfortable, but her natural paranoia is not going to let her go all the way into being totally comfortable until all the facts are in.
until it happens, yeah. And I can
Um,
understand that.
well, that's the same way I am about. Uh, I used to think that by the time I retire, the company I work for would declare bankruptcy and eat all the retirement money
Mhm.
after
Uh,
I'd put in almost 50 years.
I was surprised that I got any Social Security whatsoever because it had been 30 years since I had worked at a paying job. The 20 years I spent tutoring adults in English and reading were actually volunteer work. I got
Yeah,
paid nothing.
yeah.
So,
Lindsay's worked up. Lindsay has looked up her work history and to collect her own Social Security, since she is an American citizen, even though naturalized rather than natural born, she would have to get a job and work for another 2.5 years. And I'm going, honey, you get this because you're married to me.
mhm.
And she don't trust that, and I don't blame her. But I don't
Well,
half the time. Half the time, I'm not convinced the sun's going to come up tomorrow. You know.
I couldn't believe Carl comes in and says the man from Social Security wants to talk to you, and I'm looking at him like Social Security called you, and he's like, no, I called them to finalize my Social Security, and I'm like, I didn't have to call to do mine, but okay. And the guy is a very nice guy, very nice guy. He's like, I just want to confirm that the two of you are married. Well, yeah, so many years now, and you're living in the same house. Oh, yeah. And he says, okay, this is the amount of money you're going to be getting every month. And I'm like, no. Why? He says, yeah, because you're married to him, you'll be getting this much more a month.
Yeah, he gets this much. You get that much.
And I'm like, cool. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Of course, you and I have been told all our lives that Social Security was not going to be there by the time we.
Oh, my parents have been told all their lives that Social Security was going to be gone by the time they retired.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I watch conspiracy theory stuff because it's entertaining to see how stupid ideas get propagated, but
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those things that everybody believes without evidence.
Mm-hmm. Well, see,
Mm,
my folks never got Social Security because tenant farmers don't pay into Social Security, so they don't get Social Security.
yep.
So this was a whole new thing for me because I didn't know anybody else who was on it.
Oh, mom was pissed when dad passed away, and instead of getting dad's Social Security and hers, she just got his.
Mm-hmm.
That reduced her income by quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
because she had worked it long enough to qualify for a significant amount herself. But
Yeah, when my mom started drawing Social Security early, they asked her, "Well, are you sure you've worked long enough?" She goes, "Well, let's see. I started when I was 16." The lady goes, "Yeah, you got enough time."
Now, see, I never talked to anybody. I applied online, figuring, like I said, it'd been 30 years since I had a paying job. I'm going to get denied.
Well,
And then I get this email saying, here's what you're getting every month. Okay, thanks.
she started pulling it when she was 62, I think. Like
Mm-hmm.
she took the early withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
And she wasn't even sure at that point if she could pull it, which is why she just called them to get the ball rolling, see what needed to be done. So, and then after that, everything was done online.
Yeah.
No,
I've already
I took early too, also, and so did Carl.
I've done the preliminary on mine and made it clear that I'm waiting till, let's see, the bracket for my age is 66 and a half to start without any penalty. So yeah, I could wait till I'm in my mid 70s before I started, and I'd get an extra 2 or 300 a month. I'm going, no,
Mm,
I have made other plans. Let's just use this, and you know, um, as I said, it's still scary as all get out. But if everything does work, I'm going to be better off than I've ever been.
mm-hmm.
And if everything doesn't work, I've still got about 15 years worth of money. Just
Well, I
no way
think
to keep building it.
I think Carl told me that between his pension and his Social Security, he is making like 98% of what he made brought in at working. So he didn't really take a big pay cut when he retired.
Yeah, yeah.
People ask us, why do you still live in Danville? Uh,
Because you like the house.
there's my castle, yes. Uh, not it's Danville's not that expensive a place to live in. So here we live like kings. If we were in Chicago, we'd be up that creek without a paddle.
Yeah, really. And
There's
Florida
studio
ain't worth
apartments that
living
cost
in.
more than my 3-bedroom apartment in Chicago.
Hmm. If we moved to Southern Illinois, we'd own the frickin' world
Oh,
because the cost of living is so low down there. But
actually, I was told by one of my friends at work who was born there that if we moved to Puerto Rico, I could afford to live until I was about 270
mm-hmm,
just on the retirement uh, proposed by all the paperwork that I've done so far. I'm going, well, I don't think I'm going to make it that far, but I'm going to do my damnedest. Um,
We were down in Franklin, Tennessee a few years ago for a Muncie event. Beautiful city. Beautiful
Uh-huh.
city. And Carl's like, this would be a nice place to retire in. We might want to think about that. And I'm looking at him going, do you know what it would cost to live here in the neighborhood that we're staying in right now? He thought about it like, we better stay in Danville, I guess.
there are places in Tennessee where it's very, very affordable to live if you have the kind of retirement income that y'all have. There are other places to where I wouldn't live there on a bet. And those would be the good places. You'd have to be out in the middle of no civilization whatsoever to live like kings.
Mm.
But
Every time I see a nice farm setup and go, oh man, that's really nice setup. That'd be a great place to live. Carl says, oh, you're not wanting the internet anymore, are you? Like, oh, wait a minute. We're fine in town.
hmm
Two
I, dre-
words: satellite internet. Ooh.
I kind of dread the day that um we have to make a decision on what to do with what my brother and my sister and I will inherit because thankfully none of us want somebody else to live in the family home once mom's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that my sister and my sister-in-law are probably going to want to turn most of the family farm into McMansions to make money short term because money. I don't know. I don't think they've thought it through. Um, and then even in that case, property taxes are going to eat the place alive. But I would definitely like to have the family home. You know, farmhouse, barn, dad's machine shop. Um, shit, mom's got enough damn antiques where he could probably buy Biltmore House and move into it. But I just I dread the day when the decisions have to be made that okay, it's y'all's. What are you going to do with it? This is what you got to pay in inheritance tax. This is what you're going to have to do to keep it. This is what you're going to get out of it if you turn it into McMansions, basically. I
Mm-hmm.
can't think of a better word. You know, half an acre of land with a $2
Georgia
million
inherited
house built on it that's actually worth less than a 1970s mobile home. And
only 6
less
states
well
have inheritance
constructed.
tax. Georgia isn't one of them.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, Indiana doesn't. Kentucky does. So my sister was talking about inheritance tax. Sadly, we had to go through this recently. Um, so me and my eldest sister, like the attorneys told us we didn't have to worry about that in any way, shape, and or form. But because my middle sister lives in Kentucky, they might have to pay inheritance tax where my eldest sister and I don't.
Well, luckily for us, then my brother, sister, and I live within 15 miles of each other, right here.
Iowa,
And
Kentucky,
my
Maryland,
brother already has a
Nebraska.
house on the family farm.
So
that's that's part of the reason my folks used to have a place down in Florida. And after Dad passed and Mom wasn't going down anymore, she was rewriting her will, and all three of us were there with her, um, because she wanted to be sure that we got what we wanted out of her estate. And she said, "What about the place in Florida?" And my oldest brother and I looked at each other, looked at the middle child, and said, "Give us $1 a piece, and it's yours." And Mom turned to the lawyer and says, "Is that okay?" And he says, "That's just fine. We'll make up the papers to turn the title over to him, and then he won't have to pay inheritance tax down there." So sometimes it just works out.
Um, well, at the moment, the family farm is 68 acres of prime farmland and woods. My brother owns, I think he bought it from Dad. I'm not sure. He might have. Mom probably would have insisted that he buy it so that there's no question. But Dad,
Hmm.
my brother's got he built a house on the far end of the farm away from the family home. Um, and I'm going, property tax on 68 acres is fucking exorbitant because they want you to sell everything off and let them put trailer parks on it. But it's not trailers, it's mansions. Um, we don't want that. None of us want that. Um, but I don't know about my sister and my sister-in-law going, we'll take the short-term money in favor of the fact that our grandchildren might want a piece of this one day. Um, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enough information. I'm not smart enough. I can't figure the angles. Show me a pool table and I can figure the angles. Um, quiet, Donna. I know what you're thinking. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Um, don't ever tell Dawn. Um, I ought to hire this voice out for Hollywood so I can make some damn money. Um,
show you the right form, and you'll figure out the curves too.
Hmm. Oh, he's got that figured out.
if you got the curves, baby, I got the angles.
You've seen my curves.
I'm impressed. Oh, y'all go. No, I'm going to get me divorced. Uh,
No, no, no. I have permission to flirt with you.
yes, and so does Dawn. Um, and let's see, hasn't met Michaela yet, but one of these days. Um,
That girl.
oh, I know, I know. I love her dearly.
Hmm.
Um, I hope everything works out. I, I will buy every damn book that she writes, just like I would you or Richie or hell, if Joe ever writes a book.
Joe's
Um,
written a book, which I haven't gotten yet. How do I get that?
Uh, Amazon. It's on Kindle only.
Oh, I don't have Kindle. That's why I
Yeah.
haven't gotten it yet.
Oh,
It's,
well,
it's not long enough to actually publish in a book format on Amazon.
okay. And it is.
Tales of the Highway. It is stories of things that I've seen on the job sites through the various years up until I became IT manager.
I'm going to have to get that. I am definitely going to have to get that. Oh, Lord. I have the most interesting friends.
So you have to have Kindle in order to read that, right? I can't read that on. Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Um,
I
y-
will. I have a PDF copy of it somewhere that I will send on to you.
you might could download the Calibre uh, reader and
Actually, Kindle has a
buy
free program for
yeah
PC.
yeah. If you buy a Kindle book and you've got a computer, you can read it right there. You don't
Mhm.
have to
PC,
have a
tablet, and
Kindle.
phone. Yeah.
Okay.
I keep forgetting about that because I got a Kindle. It's the only thing that keeps me sane at work. Um,
It's not a Kindle, but I have the Kindle app on it, and
yeah,
one of
yeah.
my favorite books, which is free. Actually, two of my favorite books, which are free, um, are from Kindle. Um, Strange Medieval Myths, I think is the title of one, and the other is the Werewolf Book, both by Sabine Baring Gould, who, oddly enough, is also the author of Onward Christian Soldiers, the song, the hymn.
Really?
Yeah,
There,
he was a priest that wrote about paranormal shit.
there was a
Well,
werewolf book I have always wanted to recommend to you, but you've got to be able to read about 5 languages in order to get the full thing because it's Latin, German, Italian, French, and some of the rare parts are in English. Um, and I cannot remember the writer's name. I think it is
Two and a half languages.
2.5. Yeah. Uh,
I got the German. I've got the half-ass English and half-ass French.
well, I can puzzle out German. I've taken French classes. I can almost understand, but the rest of it, I'm going. This is a very erudite book. It's on my shelf somewhere. If I could pull it out and give you the author's name, I would, but that would involve a flashlight and searching bookshelves.
One of these
Um,
days, when you have got your mind set to it, please do. I'm no shrinking violet when it comes to attempting to learn languages.
well, I mean, and
Somewhere
you
around
can
here,
always
I've got a document of 101 different one languages to say hello in to piss off scammers,
you can always
which I put together myself.
you can always put it get a digital copy and then copy paste into Google Translate and get a
Um,
rough idea of what it's supposed to say.
if it's an EPUB, the app I have on my tablet, Read Era, ERA, as in the unit of time. Actually, if you long press on a word, the options that come up are define and translate.
Well, it's not so much a word as entire sections are written in other languages I don't speak, and I've never seen it in ebook, but I've never searched for it. I bought it in the 70s as a hardback. And the English portions I can understand are enormously fascinating, and knowing how interested you are in werewolves, I would go, "Oh, you'd love this if you could read the whole thing." But covers a lot of
Oh,
ground. A lot of
if
it
it comes to
is
theory and
from
trope research, I'll learn languages for that shit. Definitely.
well, it's the historical stuff from the Middle Ages and whatnot in several different languages, and uh, Montague
Montague Summers.
might be, might be. Um,
I think I have a copy of that somewhere.
it like I said, it's a very college professor sort of book because nobody else can read all this shit at one time. Um,
Um,
if you got
I,
it, my job is done.
I think I could, because I know Montague Summers um, wrote a. I guess it'll specify Montague correctly, doesn't it? Has that might be a G instead of the Q. Anyways, I know because I was searching for a bunch of various texts on werewolves, as I do on a regular basis, because yes, I'm that kind of nerd. And
Okay,
Montague Summers comes up a lot.
you
Uh,
are you are someone who is quite welcome in not only convention panels but online shows where werewolves are the topic because you have read widely and
Mhm.
deeply, and if I may, know your shit.
Thank you.
Uh,
Um, but I want to say he also has a book on witchcraft as well.
Now that one I would love to have. And I got all kinds of Amazon free book credits that
And I
keep
don't remember if I
expiring
have
every
that
month.
in PDF or if I've got that in EPUB.
I've got it in hardback. But like I said, I bought this back when I was in college in the 70s.
Yeah, because I want to say he wrote in no no more recent than the 18s. I want to say it was older than that. Um,
This probably would have been a book from the 1960s, 1980s at the latest. But no, I bought it when I was in college, so it had to be during the 70s that the copy I got was available.
born in 1880, died in 1948. Um,
Well, it was the publisher that put it out then.
he's got The Vampire, His Kith and Kin, History of Witchcraft, History of Witchcraft from Black Magic, The Werewolf, The Vampire in Europe, The Werewolf in Lore and
That
Legend.
that's it. Werewolf in Lore and Legend. That's the one I've got.
So yes, we're thinking of the same author.
Yep. Thank you for small blessing. No, seriously. When I get stuff right, I'm always surprised. When I get some wrong, I'm never surprised. Um,
Hey, Richie, can I ask you a quick tech question?
Possibly.
How the hell would something end up in the host file that I didn't add there myself? Or at least I don't remember adding there myself?
Well, I would say if your computer was unprotected around somebody mischievous. But I mean,
Or save
any
as if
any
you were in a
any
hurry.
any type of weird corruption, something tweak out while something else is happening, it's possible for a file to overwrite. I mean, look at the normal dot dot for anyone who uses Word. Yeah, that can be overwritten fairly easily on accident. Same kind of thing for the host file, but it's kind of harder and fewer things muck with the host file. But considering the development and stuff that you do, it might be a line of errant code you have in something else that accidentally tweaks something over there.
Yeah, guess what my issue was with getting into my own website?
Your host
It was
file is
blocked.
pointing
It was blocked in the damn host file.
So, funny story. Back when I started supporting the firm, I worked for a company called SEI, and we were an overflow help desk and after hours help desk. SEI had several different contracts. I was on the contract for the firm I work for now, and another friend of mine was on a contract for a large publisher, one of the largest publishers in America. And it's the kind of company that every second their presses are down, they're losing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Every second the press is down, they're losing tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, my manager at the time saw my friend go to lunch. My friend didn't lock his computer. So my manager went over and changed his host file so that every single website he tried to go out to went to gay porn.
Oh, shit.
And then forgot about it. And my friend didn't have to take any calls that dealt with going to an external website for several hours. Well, after that manager had gone home, and again, forgot about it. Call comes in. Presses are down. Not one, multiple. So my friend goes to try to log in to that external site to do a couple of things, keeps getting directed to the gay porn. Has to jump over the cubicle wall to the next desk and try to log in there, and the login process took freaking forever to finally be able to get in on a good PC and be able to get out and get the situation fixed.
Oh.
And then afterwards, my friend called the manager and he's like, "What the hell's going on here?" And then the manager's like, "Oh, check your host file." And sure enough, yeah, we were kind of evil to each other.
Only kinda.
Oh, yeah. Only kinda. All right, folks, we got
That was
about
a fun place to work. Holy shit.
we got about 6 minutes left. Anything anybody wants to say to wind everything up? What you doing? Where can we find you? Well, I would say, why should we care? But everybody here is very interesting, so that's why we care. Joe, NDCZ?
NDCD.org. You can find links for my stuff and everybody else that's on here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Donna, got anything new coming out in the near future, or something that just came out?
Just came out. Just came out. What the hell just came out? I don't remember what I just published. Oh, conventions are a blast.
Yes, yes. Now I
Yeah,
remember.
the latest in the Death and Hill saga. Lots of fun.
Rich,
Little bit of gore, and you can find me on indiecd.org or Lulu. Go, Rich.
You can find me on Indie CD as well, spouting, modeling, philosophy, and random thoughts, which you can find my YouTube channel through Indie CD. And coming soon, now that my brain is not filled with what the hell are we going to do next, I can sit down and concentrate with um, my book cover artist and get the first of the things that go bump in the light series of short stories uh, compilations put out hopefully within the first quarter of next year.
that's excellent. That is excellent. As for me, um, Three Ravens Publishing is reissuing my first uh, collection of Spaceport Bar stories. Damn, Irish whiskey is really good. Um, I have also been commissioned to write a volume two of the Spaceport Bar books. Uh, Three Ravens is about to turn the Marinibrium shared universe loose on their stable of writers. I have also been asked to edit a compilation of the original Marinibrium short stories from Aphelion Webzine. Aphelion comes out every month except for January. So when I do the December issue, the next new issue will not be out until February. That's the tradition. We give the holidays off to all the staff. Um, there are other peripheral things that are, it'd take too long to explain. Um, don't have time to explain. Let me sum up. Um,
Get out of my head. Let me explain. That'll take too long. Let me sum up.
There are some of my steampunk stories out there in various anthologies. Um, there may be a brand new steampunk story that isn't brand new to me, but would be brand new to the readers that I have also been asked to pass over to Three Ravens. And I don't want to say too much because I would give it away, but let's just say there is a steampunk universe where H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was the third Martian invasion. And my stuff is slightly concerned with the first two and the people that drove the Martians away those times.
Welcome back. How can I help you?
Why are you speaking at me?
Shutting the fuck up would
I
be
enjoy
nice. How can I help you? Shutting the fuck up would be nice. I mean, seriously, when I hear one of the um, serially, oh Lord, Arrgh. Okay, okay, down to the wire. 1 minute, well, less about 15 seconds. Um, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your appearance on every show that I do and any show that you're in that I either watch or take part in. Thank you all for everything that you have written, because even if I have not gotten to it in my to read pile yet, I know it's excellent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, folks.
Also, night.
We'll see you. You'll see us Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow night in the green room.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.